When you're finally ready to upgrade the living room sound system after years of battling that tinny TV speaker, the excitement can quickly turn into a nervous pause. You've probably asked yourself, will this massive 5.1.2 setup actually fill the room, or will it just sit there looking impressive? And what if I spend a lot of cash and end up with a system that needs a PhD to get right? Those are the exact thoughts I had last weekend while helping a friend decide whether to go all in on a home theater rig. I dug through forums, watched a handful of unboxing videos, and even sat in a few demo rooms to see how the Klipsch 5.1.2 Walnut system behaves in a real house. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Below is what I learned about the practical side of this speaker family, and who should actually consider it versus who might want to look elsewhere. First off, the biggest thing that sets the Klipsch 5.1.2 Walnut system apart is the way it handles the bighorn philosophy that the brand has championed for decades. Those signature horn-loaded tweeters, now upgraded with an LTS titanium diaphragm, give the highs a surprising level of clarity even at high volumes. In my friend's 20-foot living room, the dialogue in a fast-paced action movie stayed crisp, and the sparkle in a high-octane video game soundtrack didn't get lost behind the bass. The horn design also means you get a broader dispersion pattern, so you don't have to sit dead center to hear the sweet spot, a real win for families that like to lounge on the couch or pull up a beanbag in the corner. The woofer side of the system is built around Klipsch's new CERAMETALLIC material. In simple terms, that's a blend of ceramic and metal that aims to give tighter control over cone movement. When we cranked up a low-frequency test track, the punches were tight without the usual boom-boom-boom wobble that cheaper domed woofers often produce. That translates to a more realistic feel during a soccer match's crowd roar or the rumble of a car chase. Because the woofers are larger than what you'd find on many bookshelf-style 5.1 packages, you actually get that room-filling bass without having to add a separate subwoofer in the corner, though the system does include the RP1000SW sub for those who want an extra layer of depth. One of the practical strengths that isn't always highlighted in marketing copy is the dual input terminals that support biwiring or biamping. If you're the type who already has high-end amplifier gear, you can run separate signal paths to the tweeters and woofers, which can improve separation and reduce intermodulation distortion. In the demo house, we hooked the system up to a modest AVR that didn't have biamp capabilities, and it still sounded fantastic, but the option is there for the audiophile who wants to squeeze out every nuance. It also means you can keep the front speakers as a pure stereo pair for music nights and just switch to surround mode when watching movies, without rewiring everything. Now, let's talk about the hidden trade-offs. The walnut finish looks gorgeous against a dark wall, but it's also a relatively heavy package. Each floor-standing speaker weighs enough that you need a sturdy stand or a reinforced piece of furniture. If you live in an apartment and need to move the system in and out of the unit, the weight becomes a logistical headache. Another subtle point is that the horn-loaded tweeters are very efficient, which is great for low-power sources, but it also means you have to be mindful of volume levels. In my friend's house, we noticed that at very high volumes the highs could become a little piercing, especially on content that already leans on treble-think animated movies or certain pop tracks. A modest level of calibration in the receiver's EQ helped tame that, but it's something to be aware of before you set the volume to max. Who should buy this? If you already have a decent TV or projector, a comfortable listening space of at least 15-20 square meters, and you enjoy both movies and high-fidelity music, the Klipsch 5.1.2 Walnut system delivers a blend of power and detail that few other mid-range home theater packages can match. It's especially attractive for people who appreciate a classic, almost vintage aesthetic. Those walnut cabinets add a warmth that black or gray speakers simply can't replicate. It also makes sense for users who own an AV receiver that can take advantage of the biamp terminals, or who plan to upgrade their amp in the future. Finally, if you value a speaker that can double as a solid music system without needing an extra set of front-stage bookshelf speakers, this all-in-one package is a compelling choice. Who should skip it? If you're living in a small studio apartment where floor space is at a premium, the footprint of 3 floor-standing speakers plus a center channel might feel cramped, and the weight could make moving the set a nightmare. Also, if you're on a strict budget and the total cost pushes you,